Israel and Gaza, with the Israeli army now saying that they are preparing for the next stage of war. If the much anticipated ground offensive begins, what are the biggest risks?
I think there are three significant risks for the Israeli Defense Force. Number one, the most obvious, is when ground forces do go into Gaza, it is going to be very difficult. The fighting inside of a city, especially when Hamas knows, in fact, Hamas wants them to come in there. So I think the soldiers know that this is going to be very difficult. Plus, they are under enormous pressure to minimize civilian damage, civilian casualties, because the whole world is watching, and you've got Hamas trying to kill you. The second big danger, I think, is if Iran opens up another front, Hezbollah coming from Lebanon or something to create more distraction in the West Bank. The third, I think, main danger is, at what point do they stop? What's the mission? I understand the mission is to destroy Hamas and make Gaza uninhabitable for Hamas. Okay, does that mean Israeli soldiers are going to be there for months, that they're going to have to secure, occupy? That will be very, very difficult.
Are there any alternatives to a ground operation?
Of course, there's always an alternative, but it may not be a satisfactory alternative. I think the fact that they haven't started the ground operation yet is either because they're not satisfied with the conditions. They have not destroyed enough of the Hamas leadership and infrastructure with air power yet, or they're still doing what we call intelligence preparation of the battlefield, where you're building up or improving your understanding of where the enemy is, where the civilians are, where the tunnels are. That's a part of it.
The U.S. is increasing its firepower in the region. Could the U.S. be dragged into a wider regional war?
I don't think that's likely. I think Iran really does not want to see, U.S. Navy or other capabilities destroying what they have. I think it was prudent for the Secretary of Defense to deploy 2 aircraft carrier strike groups into the Eastern Mediterranean. They're there for deterrence, to convey to Tehran that this is not a bluff, that we are prepared, and more capabilities are being put into the region for air and missile defense, for example. But of course, part of this is there for contingency in case they had to evacuate civilians.
As the world's attention turns to the Middle East, the war in Ukraine continues. Could the U.S., especially now with the presidential election looming large in politicians' minds, could the U.S. do both? Provide military aid to Israel and continue with its military assistance for Ukraine?
Yeah, absolutely. For Ukraine, which needs to defeat Russia, because the Chinese are watching. Are we serious about everything that's at stake there, all the international rules-based order? So that's going to continue. And of course, the United States has made it very clear we're going to help Israel defend itself.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9, and it reads, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain." Call halal Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Ruhat Wakakudash. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. I'm going to read this article. We're going to get some precepts and I'll wind it down. Slakia. Trying to get this article real quick. They keep blinking out. One moment, family. Had a article from the Wall Street Journal. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna read the notification at least. The notification reads, it says the United States running low on air defense systems. And that's coming from the Wall Street Journal. So I'll read that notification again. It reads, it says the United States running low on air defense systems. Let me try to, this thing been blinking on and off. Let's read it. Got it to stay. It says the U.S. running low on air defense systems, Wall Street Journal reports. The need for missiles, batteries in the Middle East could have ramifications for Ukraine, the news outlet claims. It says increasingly hostile environments in the Middle East have prompted the United States to deploy an additional 6 batteries of the MIM-104 Patriot missile system, doubling the total number in the region. The Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday the Pentagon is now running low on the equipment, the newspaper added. The report relocation was conducted amid a spree of missiles and drone attacks on American military bases in Iraq and Syria. Check that out. Which Washington has attributed to Iranian proxy forces. Y'all, this war is escalating. Let's read on. The additional batteries were sent to, it says Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, which hosts dozens of United States military installations, the Wall Street Journal said, citing people familiar with the deployments and the Pentagon recruitment advertisements for Patriot operators. One of the more visible consequences of the increased demand for the long-range air defense system, as identified by the Wall Street Journal and Washington's decisions not to send a Patriot battery to Dubai Air Show, which started on Monday. The Pentagon had planned to display all 3 principal elements of the system, including the launcher, radar truck, and command station, but announced a diversion of hardware in late October. Reading on, it says the Patriot battery normally has 8 launchers through up to 16 may be linked with the same radar and command station. The Pentagon, has a total of 60 batteries according to the Wall Street Journal, some of which are deployed internationally from Germany to Guam and South Korea. Washington has permitted some of its allies to purchase the system. 2 Patriot batteries, once provided by the United States and another by Germany and the Netherlands, were deployed in Ukraine earlier this year, with additional deliveries promised by Berlin. The capabilities of the U.S. designed systems were the subject of conflicting claims by Ukraine and Russia in May. Okay, the Ukrainian government claimed that the Patriot batteries were successful shooting down hypersonic missiles over Kyiv. Moscow dismissed the suggestion, however, saying the number of claims intercepts was larger than the number deployed by Russian forces. The same month, there were reports of extensive damage to one of the batteries after a failure to stop an oncoming strike with barrage of 32 interceptors. U.S. officials told the media that the damage was minor and it could be repaired by Ukraine itself. Since the New York Times reported last month that the United States engineers were looking for ways to pair American and Ukrainian hardware into Frankenstein systems. The programs include attempts to use Kyiv old Soviet-designed radar stations to guide Patriot missiles to their targets. That's the end of that article. And based on what's going on, this war is only increasing. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. America's not on the winning side of this conflict. And you have to wonder, is this judgment? Okay, I'm gonna resurface this again. The prophecy in Revelation 20. You gotta wonder if that thing gonna pan out, and is it sooner than later? Okay, the United States is not in a position to go to war. America may be able to print. They may have the power to print dollars through the Federal Reserve System. They may even have the power to create a digital system. Granted, but they don't have the time to resupply the weapons destroyed in the Ukrainian conflict. They don't have it. And you gotta wonder, with the entire world against America and little America, is this thing going down? Is a major prophecy going to pan out? We see, right? Let's get some scriptures. Let's get some scriptures and we wind it down. It's just something to think about. Because this judgment, it's got to play out. Going into this exodus, this final exodus back into the wilderness, back to Zion, this thing, it's got to be coming at full speed if it be of the Most High, right? Jeremiah chapter 50, 41 and 42. We're going to run through a few and I'm on it. It says, behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voices shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon the horses. Everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Because you have these BRICS nations coming up against America and little America. And due to this conflict in the Middle East, like I said, the whole world is looking at America and little America like the enemy. And something real big is coming. Okay? See, simple Christianity, Christians think the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is going to shield, the small hatters. No. He's going to protect the scattered Hebrew Israelites in the midst of this. Okay. Let's read. Let's read Jeremiah 51, 53 through 56. It says, though Babylon should mount up the heavens, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, said the Lord, because the spoilers is come upon her, even upon Babylon. And her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken. For the Lord God of recompenses shall surely requite. Okay. So in other words, the elites that's trying to set up their new world order over everybody, it's not going to work. Okay, the judgment is coming to America and little America. And the so-called New World Order, that's going to be shut down by Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and the host of heaven. This exodus back into the wilderness, the deliverance to Zion, I believe that thing coming full throttle. Okay, America economy is finished. Their military might's no longer it's no longer that superpower. What's the use of having a big military without your weapons to fight a global conflict? That's the state America's in. So America's in a lot of trouble. Okay? And that's just something, that's something to think about. So if you don't keep the commandments, it's general disclaimer. If you're not keeping the commandments now, you're going to get caught out there. Something real big's coming, I'm telling y'all. And it's coming real fast. Let's get that judgment. 2 Ezra 15, 43 and 45. And it reads, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all rat shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up to the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her, and they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And that's that captivity. That's that Revelation 13 and 10. Because the elite's gonna be made captives once his destruction manifests. Okay, that's just something to think about. I'm gonna read that again. We're gonna end it there. 2 Ezra 15, 43 through 45. We're gonna end it. It says, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all rats shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up to the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her, and they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. All praise to the Most High. And with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High power of Israel, Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles, and the community, waking up the Lord's sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. Shalom.